When I was driving in this morning, I was listening to the winds, the news, and they were just talking about how horrible Long Island is to drive in from, and it wasn't that bad. And they're like, blowing snow and closures, cars, take it easy out there if you don't have to drive. And I'm driving, and the only thing that was in my way were drivers that were panicking, just panicking in this weather. Left lane, I had to get around about 3 of these livery cabs that whenever I read about them slumped over the wheel with a bullet in their head somewhere in the Bronx, I just go, ha, 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 ha.
And the less money they were actually robbed for, the happier I am.
Yes. All he had was $15 that he sent back to his family in Guatemala. Because these guys are the worst drivers.
They're driving rear-wheel drive Lincolns.
Yeah.
They usually drive in rear-wheel drive cars, so they suck in the snow.
They suck. They don't stay in their own lanes. And then this one guy had his hazards on. He's in the left lane, just constantly stepping on his brakes also, and no one was in front of him. He had to be doing about 15 miles an hour. 15. And that, to me, is more of a danger than me doing 50. Because 50, for me, in the left lane is fine. Just as long as no one else is in there doing 15.
Well, yeah, if you're in the left... I agree with you. If you're in the left lane, you're doing 15.
Yeah. I don't want any cars in there either.
You want to have a group prayer that he skids out and hits a pole?
And then I got to do the look. I got to do the look when I'm passing him, and then I got to blurt out the racial epithet, which is usually what I do when I'm driving. Usually it's that typical, these people are known to be bad drivers, racial epithet.
Right.
That's the one. But sometimes I'll see somebody perhaps with a very long, bushy beard driving a cab, and it'll be that racial epithet. And then occasionally it'll be a woman of color. Usually a woman.
But when you say...
Guys are all right driving.
But
women of color, black women.
A black
woman.
Livery cab driver?
No. Regular, driving anything.
Oh,
a black woman driving anything stinks.
Black women can't...
They are the worst drivers.
They are so horribly bad as drivers.
Oh my God.
I have never used that word more.
I can't even argue because I haven't noticed who the worst driver. I mean, of course, I think the worst drivers are who the worst drivers are.
Right. The ones that are known through history to be the worst drivers.
I just think cabs are bad drivers because they don't care.
Right.
I think all cab drivers are bad drivers.
They just drive too much. It's their job, and
awful.
They
and garbage truck drivers are
cab drivers
just cut you off so they could get to their garbage pile. They don't care.
Cab drivers, I think, are actually great drivers. I mean, I'm surprised there aren't more cab X. I mean, they just drive like stuntmen through regular people, which makes you go, you suck, what are you doing? But those guys actually...
Now, they make you be a good driver. Cabbies are terrible because they'll zip across 4 lanes, and if you're not a good driver, there's an accident. Like, there's not more accidents because other people are better drivers. Yeah. But they're such selfish pigs, Cab. They're the worst.
Yeah.
When they take up 2 lanes, when they're straddling the dotted white line, it drives me insane. If they're a little bit more in one lane, I'll go around and try to get around them and squeeze around. It's like some NASCAR clip. I'm trading paint with the guy, and then I'll just lay on the horn.
And the selfish thing, man. When it rains in the city and you can't get a cab, anywhere. I was down at Gotham Comedy Club at 23rd and 7th, and I had to get to the comic strip at 82nd and 2nd. I had an hour to get from one to the other, which is plenty of time, but it's raining. Try to get a cab. One of the black cars pulls over. Yeah. And the guy goes, I'll take you $40. $40. And it was just like one of those moments where you're like, the humanity. It's nice to see everybody pull together in the city. Thanks, buddy, because you can, you will. I wanted him to crash into Central Park so bad.
After he dropped you off?
I didn't. I didn't. By chance, a friend drove by in a cab and was like, hey, what's up, dude? Do you need a ride? It was like the weirdest turn of events.
Did you call the guy, like, bad words?
The guy in the black car?
Yeah.
No, I have a reputation to uphold for my 6 fans, just in case one of them, was in the street. So,
I was so mad at cab once that even after I got a lift, and it took me an hour to get a cab. It was like you said in the rain. It's just a pain in the ass. So I get out, and I notice a cab with his light on, and I'm like, what? Now there's a cab? So I hailed him. He pulled over, and I go in the window and I go, ha, I don't even need you. And then I said some bad racial epithet, and he drove away. It was terrible. I was just so angry at cab drivers in general, and the fact that it took me an hour to get a cab, and the second I got out of the cab, there was another cab. And he was all ready for action.
It reminds me of my Murphy's Law poster.
Oh, Jimmy.
But you'll fly loose with the racial slurs, and you don't.
I tend to use them when appropriate. I wouldn't just blurt them out for no reason.
No, I don't think it's like Tourette's.
You know what it is? And this is the thing about racial epithets. It's the worst possible thing you can call somebody. And if you dislike someone or have a problem with somebody, why are you holding back? Well, you stupid idiot poopy head. You know, what are you going to call him? I'm going to pull out the howitzer. I'm going to make someone as mad as I can by calling them the worst thing possible. Why wouldn't you? If you can't stand somebody.
I'll yell the C frequently.
I've done that, but I'll use racial epithet C or MF.
Jesus God!
I'll never drop the big one.
You N-word C.
I'll never drop the big one. Not to somebody
larger than you.
Or not, yes. Well, it's usually the case. When the windows are all rolled up, I might drop the. But I'll do it like a ventriloquist because you people read lips. I've noticed that. You could say it in your car, and they'll look at you like, "What did you say in your car that I couldn't hear?"
It's hard to read the letter N.
Yeah.
You don't have
to say N or M. I'm not sure.
You don't have to be a lip reader. If you're black and you look over and you see one white guy screaming one word loudly at you.
It's not graduate.
I have such a clear visual of you behind the windows of your car yelling.
Oh, I know.
Yelling the N, and I can you can hear it. It is
the only hope I have. The only hope I have is I see him making the 2 G's.
That's the dead giveaway. No, it's not usually racial epithets like that. Like if there's cab drivers, I will use some of those racial epithets.
Will you blow fog onto the window and just write it in?
And then just write it in. The fog, it starts like cooling off and going away, the defroster, so they only see the ER.
Yeah, they go,
slow down, I want you to get all the letters. Hold on, follow me here.
Why did he write un? No, that means UN. UN.
Drive to the UN. Why?
Why did he write Is he trying to think of something?
What? I'm not Reggin.
Oh.